Hello coin lovers and treasure hunters. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of Canadian 25-cent coins, specifically the 1873 to 1973 RCMP Centennial Quarter and the 1999 commemorative designs that celebrate Canada's spirit and history. You might be surprised to learn that some of these coins are worth far more than face value. In fact, a few rare versions have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So grab your magnifying glass and let's uncover the secrets, the stories, and the hidden value behind these legendary Canadian quarters. Let's get started. First up today, we're doing a deep dive on one of Canada's most collectible little heavy hitters, the 25-cent coin dated 1873 to 1973, the Mountie RCMP commemorative quarter of 1973 and its long line of predecessors. If you love weird varieties, market surprises, or coins you can still find in pocket change, this episode is for you. I'll walk you through the coin's history, what makes certain years valuable, how to spot the rare 1973 large bust Mountie variety, realistic price ranges, grading tips, and exactly where to list or consign if you find a gem. Stick around to the end for my subscribe checklist with the 3 exact coin photos you should take before you sell. Quick technicals first. Modern Canadian quarters. The 25 piece are 23.88 to 23.8 millimeters across and in modern times use nickel or cupronickel alloys, but earlier issues were struck in silver. From the earliest Victorian pieces through 1919, quarters were sterling silver 90 to 0.5%. 1920 to 1966, quarters were 80% silver. After 1967, the metal composition changed and eventually to nickel and base metals, so older dates carry significant intrinsic metal value in addition to numismatic value. These metal spec changes are important when pricing circulated examples and when deciding whether to sell as bullion or as collectible coins. A quick history snapshot. The quarter has been struck in Canada since Confederation era. Issues, designs, and obverse portraits changed as monarchs and styles changed, from Victoria's portraits to the different busts of Queen Elizabeth II. Mintages vary wildly across decades. The 1973 piece is unusual because it was a one-year commemorative reverse design, the Mountie on horseback, marking the RCMP Centennial 1873 to 1973, making the reverse design itself popular with collectors. The long span 1873 to 1973 label you asked about evokes both the RCMP Centennial Quarter and the long-running quarter series that preceded it. Now the story. Collectors love 1973 Mountie RCMP Centennial quarters exist in two obverse varieties: a common small bust Elizabeth II portrait and a very rare large bust portrait. The large bust was accidentally struck from an earlier obverse die. The large bust coins show the beads around the rim nearly touching and a different placement of the apex of the in Regina. Small but diagnosable differences. The large bust variety is extremely scarce compared to the hundreds of millions of small bust coins struck for circulation that year, and that scarcity is why values for large bust specimens can be hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on grade. Putting that rarity into context, more than 134 million quarters dated 1973 were struck overall, so the large bust survivors are a very small fraction of total output. Many hobby sources and mint specialists estimate fewer than 10,000 large bust examples were struck before the die was corrected. Some sources and numismatic write-ups repeat this fewer than 10,000 figure. That gap between the huge overall mintage and a tiny MIS struck run is why the money talk. For ordinary common 1973 small bust quarters, circulated examples are typically worth only face value up to a few dollars depending on eye appeal. These are common and plentiful in circulation and online listings. For the large bust 1973 variety, values spike low grade, uncirculated, mint state. Large bust coins often start in the low hundreds of USD and can climb to several $1,000s. For high MS grades or proof-like specimen strikes to anchor you with market references, established price guides and auction records show large bust examples fetching from a few hundred USD and lower uncirculated grades to multiple thousands for exceptional pieces, while standard small bust business strikes remain generally inexpensive. Always confirm current auction results before pricing. Values move with demand and grade. How do you check a coin in hand? First, examine the beading, the denticles around the obverse rim on the large bust, they sit much closer to the rim. On the small bust, they are set farther in second. Look at the top of the apex of the in Regina. On the large bust, that apex points toward a bead. On the small bust, it points to a space between beads. Third, check hair detail on the queen's portrait and the overall bust size. The large bust is visually larger and fuller. Fourth, weigh and measure. If you suspect a modern altered or plated counterfeit, authentic large bust quarters will match standard quarter weight and diameter. If you think you have a large bust, do not clean it. Photograph obverse and reverse with good lighting and send images to a reputable grader or experienced Canadian coin specialist for verification. Grading matters a lot. Many coins that are technically the rare variety still sell for modest sums if heavily worn or corroded. Value concentrates in well-preserved examples. Proof-like or high-MS examples of the large bust bring the biggest prices. For most other dates in the 1873 to 1973 span, condition and scarcity drive price for silver era quarters. Pre-1967 and especially pre to 1920, the metal content sets a baseline and numismatic PRMIUMS are layered on top for condition and rarity. If you plan to sell, get a professional GRADD photo or at least high-resolution shots against neutral background. Collectors and dealers pay premiums for slabbed authenticated material. Practical marketplace tips: if you find a suspiciously valuable coin in circulation, don't sell immediately to the first beer. Photograph it and get at least two opinions: a reputable dealer and an online forum or a grading company. For listing, use detailed images, obverse, reverse, close-ups of diagnostic features. List grade if slabbed and include provenance if available. If you sell on eBay or in auction, watch comparable recent sales, not asking prices. Sold records show where the market actually values similar pieces. Beware of too good to be true offers from private buyers and always use tracked insured shipping for high-value coins. Finally, if you next up in today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Canadian quarters, specifically the 1999 25-cent coin of Canada. This year is one of the most interesting and collectible in Canadian numismatic history because of its unique Millennium series collection. If you've got a 1999 Canadian quarter lying around, don't ignore it. Some of these coins can be worth way more than 25 cents depending on their design, condition, and minting details. Stay tuned until the end for full information about 40 different mint-related varieties, grading tips, and how you can identify rare pieces that could bring you real profit. The 1999-5 Canadian coin is part of the special Millennium collection released by the Royal Canadian Mint. This series celebrated Canada's history, culture, and aspirations leading into the year 2000. Each month of 1999 had its own design meaning. There were 12 different designs for that year alone. Every design symbolizes an important Canadian value or theme, such as pride, achievement, family, celebration, and creativity. This makes the 1999 quarter one of the most visually diverse and historically rich years for Canadian quarters. On the obverse side, you'll find the classic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Dora de Pettery Hunt. This design was used on Canadian coins from 1992 to 2000. To the reverse side, however, changes depending on the month. For example, January features pride, February ingenuity, and December family. Each reverse design was created by a Canadian artist, making every version a small piece of art representing the spirit of Canada. The 1999 Canadian 25-cent coin is made of nickel-plated steel with a diameter of 23.88 millimeters and a weight of 4.4 grams. It has a reeded edge and was produced by the Royal Canadian Mint in Winnipeg. Some varieties were also struck at the Ottawa Mint. For collector sets, this technical precision means every coin was carefully produced, but slight variations and errors make some coins much more valuable to collectors today. Now let's talk about the 40 mint varieties collectors have identified for the 1999 quarters. These include proof-like, strike, circulation, strike, special, collector issues, mint, errors, and die variations. Some of the most valuable include the double die, reverse off-center, strikes, missing plating, and frosted cameo proofs from mint sets. There are also unique versions with slight differences in rim thickness, die polish marks, and even the spacing between letters in Canada. Each variation tells a story of minting, technology, and craftsmanship, making this year incredibly interesting for variety hunters. So what's a 1999 Canada 25-cent coin worth today? Common circulation coins typically range from 25 cents to $1 but uncirculated, and proof-like coins can reach $5 to $20. Special Millennium collector coins in sealed sets or brilliant, uncirculated condition can fetch $25 to $50 depending on demand. Rare error coins like missing nickel plating or double strikes can sell for $100 to over $500, especially if graded by PCGS or NGC. The ingenuity and celebration designs tend to be the most in demand among collectors. If you're checking your 1999 quarters, look at both sides carefully under bright light or magnification. Check for odd rim edges, doubling on letters, or missing elements. In the design, keep an eye out for mirror-like proof finish or coins that appear slightly heavier or lighter than normal. Store your coins in non-acidic holders to preserve luster and prevent damage. If you find an error or high-grade example, it's worth submitting to a professional grading service for authentication that can multiply your coin's value dramatically. Did you know the 1999 Millennium Quarter series was so popular that it helped inspire Canada's 2000 series as well? Over 350 million 1999 quarters were produced in total, but only a fraction half survived in perfect condition. Some collectors aim to collect all 12 designs in mint state, and a full certified set can easily sell for $150 to $300 today. The coins were part of Canada's push to celebrate its unity, diversity, and pride as the Millennium turned a truly symbolic numismatic achievement. Interest in 1999 Canadian quarters is rising again among young collectors and international buyers, as fewer coins remain in top condition. Prices for graded MS67 and above are expected to increase. Coins with unique toning or rare die errors may continue to appreciate, especially as social media and online auctions make collecting more accessible worldwide. So if you've got one sitting in your drawer, don't overlook it. The future of this coin's value could surprise you. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the 1999 Canada 25-cent coin, a small but mighty piece of Canadian history. Whether you're just starting your coin collection or already a passionate numismatist, this coin is an excellent example of artistry, technology, and cultural pride. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss more videos about rare and valuable world coins. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1999 quarter and tell us which design you found. Until next time, keep collecting and keep the hobby alive, because every coin tells a story.